Morning, dobro utro. It is my privilege and pleasure to be here. Please sit down so you're not blocking somebody else behind you. Can you turn me down just a little bit more, please, so I can get a little bit more louder? I'm very, very thankful to be here with you today, and congratulations on the 19th World Festival of Youth for Students. Can we give them a round of applause? 19 years in a row. I have 40 minutes with you here and then 20-minute questions and answers. And I want to say a big thank you to all of Russia for welcoming me here. This is not my first time in Russia. I love Russia and I love Sochi. I think Sochi is one of the most beautiful cities I've ever been in the world. And as you know, I have a family. My wife and we have 2 boys. And I don't know if you have heard yet, we are now expecting identical twin girls coming in December as well. So we're so thankful to be here. I want to thank the administration of the government to allow me to be here. And thank you very much for attending. I hope that you're inspired. I really want to be real with you and encourage you in your life. And I know that you've maybe seen parts of my story on the internet. And I don't know who you are and what you're going through. But there are some keys and values and principles that I just want to encourage you as young people, as the leaders of the next generation, to take away with you. And I want you to know I'm not the best speaker. I'm not the best speaker in the world, and I don't have the most inspirational story in the world either. And I'm still learning. I'm inspired by many people all around the world from what I see, what they're doing as an entrepreneur, what they're doing with maybe special needs challenges in their country. And I've actually been inspired by individuals here in Russia as well. And I want you to know that I'm not the guru to tell you all the formulas of life, because we all have ups and downs. You see my foot? Ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. And there are good days and bad days. There are fears that are rational and irrational. And what I want to talk about today is conquering your fear and how to overcome your obstacles. You know, when we go to school, we see everyone at school and we see the pretty girls and they talk to each other. Then we see the athletic guys and they talk to each other. And then you just see people and you're like, man, well, where's my place in this world? And you know, many kids would come up to me when I was at school and they were like, what happened? And I'd make up different stories like, say, you know, cigarettes or something like that. And, you know, I love freaking kids out, you know. And I love freaking out adults as well these days. You know, I sometimes just try to break the ice with humor. You know, when people want to come and shake my hand, I don't shake their hand, I just give them a hug. And, you know, I'm scared a little bit with hugging so many people because at any given time, someone can just pick me up and take me home. What am I going to do, right? But I want you to know that, you know, in our own life, sometimes we don't see the full picture. And a funny story about not seeing the full picture is one day I was in the car and we're at the traffic lights and I'm not driving, of course, but I'm in the front seat and this car comes up next to us and this girl's looking at me. So I'm looking at her, she's looking at me, and all she sees is my head from the side. Now imagine all you see is my head from the side. I just did this. And she thought my head did a 360-degree turn. And her face was like, it was very funny. But for me in my life, my parents always said, Nick, you know what? You may look different, you may feel different, but Nick, we're all different. And that's the beauty of this life, that you're different than I am. And you don't have to look like me, and I don't have to look like you. You don't need to be someone you're not. I want you to know that sometimes you look yourself in the mirror and you wish you would look different. But I want you to know that looks are nothing. Let me ask you, do you think that I'm good enough to be your friend? Are you sure? but I have no arms and legs. You're still going to be my friend? Why is that? Because we know that the looks have nothing to do with anything. I could be the best looking guy in the world, but then if I'm mean to you, you're not going to be my friend. And we're going to understand that sometimes we attract the wrong people in our life because we have the wrong mindset. I wish I was more beautiful. I wish I was more taller. And you want a boyfriend to feel loved. Well, what if you actually attract somebody who loves you for how you look instead of loving you for who you are? What happens when you are not having a good day and you cannot give them what they normally get from you, your attention, your encouragement, and maybe you go through depression? Don't you want somebody to love you when you're going through depression? I know I do. And so we need to understand it's not about how beautiful we look or how smart we are or even what kind of job we get. I want you to know that you're beautiful just the way that you are and that there's not another you out there. I want you to know that you don't need to change yourself. Some of you guys think that you need to start using the F word to be cool or have big biceps. My biceps were so big they fell off. You understand me? And so I want you to know that it's not about the physical heart. It's not about the physical looks that we have. It's about the heart and the mind. And I want you to know that there are times in life where people looked at me and said, "Oh, look at you." And you sometimes look at yourself in the mirror and say, "Oh, look at my pimples." I want you to know that you can either be your biggest encourager or your biggest discourager. And in your life, let's say that this is the goal that you want to reach. If I start from over here and I take one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time, this is towards the goal and dream and purpose of your life. Sometimes you can't see the future, and sometimes we believe in the lies that take us away from the purpose. The lies that I was hearing. "Oh, you're ugly. Oh, this is too hard for you. You're never going to get married. Even if you got married, you can't even hold your wife's hand. Even if you had children, how are you going to hold your kids when they're crying? What job are you going to get? You can't even help yourself and do anything." You see, I never thought with my little foot that I could actually type 43 words a minute on a normal computer. I never thought I'd be able to walk and jump and swim, golf, fish, and surf. And I've even done skydiving. There are times in life where you will have to face your fears, and I want you to know that's not the end of your story. In fact, you know that I wouldn't be who I am until I faced my fears and overcame my fears. What does overcoming your fear mean anyway? Courage is not when you're not afraid. Courage is when you do it when you are, even if you are afraid. Let me show you what courage is. I'm going to jump off the table, do a backflip, and land on the floor, okay? Are you ready? No? Ready? Raz, dva, three. I'm joking, man. Are you serious? If I did that, I'll break my arm or something, okay? But sometimes in your life, oh, thank you very much. Spasiba. But for me, in my life, when I fall down, I know that it's not the end. If there's fear, I can conquer that fear. And I want you to know that you don't know what you can achieve until you try it, but you have to start with knowing the truth of your value. When you realize that all these negative lies are just lies. Yeah, sure, there were fears. My parents thought, well, am I ever going to be independent? My parents questioned, well, am I ever going to go to school? I had rational fears. Am I ever going to get married? But when fears overtake you, that's when you start making conclusions about your life that are not real. Like, I'm never going to get married. I'm never going to find true love. I'm never going to be happy. I'm never going to be successful. I'm always going to be a failure. I want you to know when you look at that word failure, that you must remember some people like Thomas Edison. Does anyone know what Thomas Edison invented? Does anyone know? The light bulb, right? Does anyone know how many times he tried to make the light bulb? 10,000 times. Can you imagine trying to do something 10,000 times? Failed, 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 failed. Someone came up to Thomas Edison and said, hey, how does it feel failing 9,999 times? And you know what he said? I never failed 9,999 times. Now I know 9,999 ways in how not to make a light bulb. And I'm thinking, that's cool. Why? Because the great things in life that you have to succeed in sometimes has to cause you to fail first. Failure is not a conclusion. Failure is a process on the way to being successful. Now, what I want you to know is this last part about value before we talk about goal setting and making those steps is your value is not determined, again, on how you look and what job you get. Let me ask you a question. Am I Nick Vujicic? Good. Now, if I take out my tongue and someone cuts off my tongue and someone takes off my ears and someone plucks out my eyes, am I still Nick Vujicic? You can't touch my soul. You can't touch my spirit. And I want you to know that no one can touch yours. And only you can determine what you're going to achieve in your life. I'm not saying that everything is possible. And I also want you to know that whether you become a banker, whether you become a CEO, an entrepreneur, a teacher, or even a janitor at a high school that cleans the toilets, your value is not different than any other human being. Many people ask me, well, Nick, what do you want your children to be when they grow up? Well, for me, I don't care what they have as a job. I want them to find their faith, love, and happiness in their life. For me, faith, love, and happiness is everything. And the reason why I say janitor as an example is interesting because out of all the people in my life that were the first people to actually tell me, hey, you're going to be a speaker, guess what? It was not my mom. It was not my dad. It wasn't even a close friend. But I actually at high school ran into the janitor who was cleaning the toilets. And he looked at me one day and he said, Nick, you're going to be a speaker. And I said, what? I said, you're a crazy old man. I said, what am I going to speak about? He said, you're going to share your story. And I said, I have a story? He says, yes, you do. I said, no, I don't. And I said, get away from me, man. No way. That's crazy. He said, Nick, please let me arrange a little speech with some students at the school. Just please try. Just share from your heart. I said, no way, man. And I walked away. The next day he saw me and he says, hey, Nick, speak. And I said, no. And I walked away. Then the next day he saw me. I started running away. He started running after me, right? I'm like, man, leave me alone. For 3 months, he said, please, Nick, please, Nick. I said, no, spasiba. And he said, please, will you do it? I said, I don't know. After 3 months, I said yes. And I got up in front of 6 students, and I was so nervous. My palms were sweaty. My knees were shaking. And I didn't know what I was going to share. And I started speaking, and I told them that they're beautiful. And I told them to never give up. And someone started crying. And man, when I started speaking a couple times here and there was one time that really grabbed my heart when a girl came up and she said, thank you, thank you, thank you. No one's ever told me that they love me. No one's ever told me that I'm beautiful the way that I am. And that's when I knew I was born to be a speaker. And I came home and I said, Mom and Dad, I know what I want to be for the rest of my life. And my dad said, good, finish school first. And I said, okay, Dad, I will. Look, now my dad told me, Nick, God didn't give you arms and legs, but God gave you a brain. Use your brain, be thankful for what you have, do your best, and God will do the rest. He said, Nick, you should do a degree in accounting and financial planning, and you have a brain. Then you get employees that are your hands and feet, and that's how you can create your own independence. Do you know how old I was when he told me to start an accounting business? 6 years old. And you know what I did at 6 years old? I vacuumed the floor of my house with my shoulder and my chin so I can actually make money. If I wanted something at the shops, my parents wouldn't buy it for me. I made my own money. And when I made my own money, I was more thankful for what I had. I was more thankful that I could actually save and be thankful for what I had to come in my life. And I want you to know I'm so thankful for that janitor who knew that their purpose was greater than just cleaning toilets. They knew that it's not about their job. When you know that it's not just about making money, I want you to know that nothing on this earth can really satisfy you. Money, drugs, sex, alcohol, pornography, fame, and fortune. If you put your happiness in temporary things, your happiness will be temporary. You may want to have a boyfriend now, but I want you to know that I wouldn't be looking for a girlfriend unless I'm really ready to get in a serious relationship to find my soulmate. I want you to know that sex is not love. You can sleep with anyone you want as many times as you want and still wonder, do they really love you? This is where you realize that you just don't do things because other people are doing things. You are you. You can make your own norms and not just accept what other people think is acceptable. And I was a virgin and remained a virgin for my wife for a reason. And you reap the benefits and fruits of the decisions you make as a human being. Sometimes we make good decisions, sometimes we make bad decisions. The amazing thing about this life is when you make a mindset to say, I am not defined by what people say. I'm not defined by my job or how much money I have. I'm not defined or valued if I have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, but I will make my own definition of me, and I will turn away from these lies and say to the lies, lies, talk to the foot, and I'm not listening to you. I'm going to turn my back on you and say, you know what? One day at a time, one day at a time. I'm going to be the best person I can be. I'm going to help others where I can help, and I'm going to believe in myself to dream big, because you don't know what you can achieve until you try. And when you fail, try again. You are not a failure. When I told my mom that I wanted to be a speaker, she said, so what are you going to speak about? And I said, I don't know. She said, do you have any invitations for you to speak? I said, no. She said, do you know if they're going to pay for you? I said, no. She said, how are you even going to get there even if you do get an invitation and even if they do pay for you? I said, I don't know. And I want you to know that when someone hugged me and said, thank you, thank you, thank you, no one's ever told me that they love me. No one's ever told me that I'm beautiful the way that I am. That's when I knew that in my journey for life, I was going to have to face fears. I was going to have to fail. But I didn't care how many times I failed to be successful. And I made a decision that every human being in my life is of value. So if I had to fail 1,000 times before I became a speaker, I'm ready to fail 1,000 times to change one other person's life. I want to ask you a question. Have you ever been depressed? Yes? Real quick, I want to ask you a quick question for you to just reflect. Have you ever thought of giving up? Yes, some of you. I want you to know this. There are 4 things to come out of depression that I believe is great for you to practice. Number 1 is write a list of all the things you're thankful for. That's the first thing. The second thing is to maybe talk to somebody and get some counseling. The third thing is to take one day at a time. And the fourth thing, to try give someone what they need even while you don't get what you need. Let me explain something beautiful. I was in front of a crowd and I saw a little boy with no arms and no legs just like me. And I'm like, wow, I want to wrestle him later on. And I looked at him and he looked exactly like me. He even had a little foot like me. And I gave him a hug, and I hugged his mom, and I hugged his dad. And I told his parents that if he goes to school and if he gets bullied and teased, I'm going to go to his school and I'm going to do a free speech. I went to his school and I did a free speech, and everyone stopped teasing him and bullying stopped altogether. Let me ask you, you're here at this World Festival of Youth. Do you really believe that bullying can stop? Do you really believe that we can make a difference? Because I can tell you, I've been to schools where bullying is no more, where you actually come to the point where you realize, wow, the biggest problems of this earth is world hunger, is lack of medication for all, lack of education and opportunity for all. I have been in front of 17-year-old girls who are slaves, who were sometimes sold by their own mother for $700, forced into prostitution. When you look at the world and the world's biggest problems, doesn't it start with bullying? Doesn't it start with somebody thinking that they're more important than somebody else? Could it be that the world's biggest problems actually can be solved for the next generations ahead with you and me? Can you imagine 400 million youth coming together, giving $1 a day to alleviate the suffering of humankind? Can you imagine what $3 billion a week could do for the world? How many hungry people we could feed? How many hospitals we can build? You see, it starts with a vision, and it starts with you and me. And it actually starts with you in your own mind. For you to realize that just because bullying has been a part of our history and society, it doesn't mean that it's okay. It doesn't mean that it should be deemed as normal. Because you don't know how many people at your school are being sexually abused at home. Domestic violence is the biggest thing that Europe is actually facing right now. You don't know if the people that you're teasing or gossiping about actually witnesses their alcoholic father verbally abusing their mother every single day, and they are believing the lies in their mind, believing it's their fault. And they feel like they're on the edge of giving up on these lies. And either we come along and we encourage people to give up, or we discourage people to give up, meaning we encourage them to keep going. You know what? A big saying in the world says, if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. In the surveys that I've done in 290 schools, 40% of teenagers have actually in America, 6 to 10% of all teenagers in 290 schools that I did a survey in had already attempted suicide. 40% of the reason for attempted suicide is because of a broken home. If you're in a broken home, I want you to know I believe being in a broken home is worse than having no arms and legs. 40% of the reason why teenagers try to commit suicide is because of bullying at school. Have you ever wanted to make a difference on this earth? Do you think that you need to wait before you get a job to make a difference in this earth? Do you think you need to wait till you graduate from university before you can make a difference in this world? Or actually, can you, with no money needed, can you share love? Can you share encouragement? Can you stop injustice when you see injustice? Can you be a friend to someone who has no friend? You know how much it means to have a good, true friend who loves you for who you are in the good days and the bad days. Are you a good friend to somebody else or not? My question to you is, who are you? Are you a forgiving person? Or are you a bitter person? Are you somebody who's thankful? Or are you somebody who's not? Who believes that the world owes them everything? Are you a bitter person or are you a forgiving person? Do you want to know the greatest way to know that? Is imagine this. You have 15 seconds to breathe. Who are you? What don't you like about yourself? What don't you like about the things you'd be remembered for? What do you want to be remembered for? Tomorrow is not promised for anyone, and every single one of you is valuable. With the permission of the person sitting next to you, give them a hug or give them a high five. I want to see some love going around this room right now. I want to tell you that I love you and I appreciate every single one of you. I really believe in your future, and I really believe that many decisions that you make in your life can change your destiny. One of the big things, as you know, you've seen me on TV. Put your hand up if you saw me on TV to talk about my faith in God. You heard me speak about my faith in God on television. Put your hand up. Great, put your hand down. My faith in God is very, very important. And 2017 is a year of celebrating 500 years of Reformation where faith was able to be practiced. And I want you to know that I love everyone. I really do. No matter what religion you're from, no matter what background you have, I love you just the way that you are. And for me, I needed to have that faith element for me because many people were saying to me, well, all you need is just positivity. You know those people? Just you can think through it, you can do it, and you'll get through it. No. When you have cancer, or your mother has cancer, or somebody dies in a car accident that you know, or someone commits suicide that you know of, how can you be positive? When I tell these people that I was in front of, these teenagers who were slaves, I couldn't tell them many things at all. I can't say, well, just believe in reincarnation. Better luck next time. I can't tell them that. Just be positive. I can't tell him that. Be good, do good, and good will happen. I couldn't tell him that either. But I could tell him about my faith in God and my belief in the Bible and how we're all wonderfully and fearfully made. That there is a future and a hope that we can all have. And I want you to know that, yes, my faith journey began at age 15 while I was in high school. And I said, God, if you have a plan for my life, I want to know what that plan is. Come into my life, forgive me of my sin. I don't want to just go to church twice a year. I don't want to just hear about the things of history. I want to know how real you are and why you become real for me. And I just want you to know that if you haven't found peace in your soul, to keep looking because you will find it. I want you to know that dreams come true. Yes, I did marry my wife, and I don't need to hold her hand. I need to hold her heart. You don't need hands to hold someone's heart. I do have children, and maybe I can't hold them, but when they cry, they hold me. And I want you to know that beautiful things can come from your broken pieces when you give your broken pieces a chance. I want you on YouTube to, I don't know if there's a Russian subtitled version of it, but there's a YouTube video called The Butterfly Circus. The Butterfly Circus. Put your hand up if you've seen it. Okay, cool. Is there Russian subtitles somewhere on YouTube? Maybe, maybe not. It's good. It's a short film that I encourage all of Russia to watch. 80 million people have watched it. Butterfly Circus. It is such a beautiful short film to know that beautiful things can come from your broken pieces when you give your broken pieces a chance. And I just want to ask you today, who are you and what do you want to become? Who are you and what do you want to become? Whatever that is, take one step at a time. When you fall down, get back up. Even when your parents don't believe in you. You know, my parents thought I was crazy to be a speaker. But I became a speaker. My dad said, finish school. I finished school. But then I became a speaker. And you know how I started? I started from zero. Please, don't make an excuse to not dream big because you feel like you have nothing to work with. Let me tell you what I had to work with. I was not a speaker. I didn't know how to speak properly. I had no invitations for me to speak. There was no such thing as YouTube. Today, 1.6 billion people know who I am because of the internet. It's incredible, but in 2002, no one knew who Nick Vujicic was worldwide. I didn't know of any other speaker. I didn't read about other speakers. I didn't listen to other speakers. I started from zero. And you know what I did? I started calling schools. Hello? Hi, my name is Nick, and I am a speaker. Can I please come and speak at your school? No, thank you. And it hung up. So if I called the school and the school said no, is that a failure or a success? You want to talk about it amongst each other? I call a school to invite myself to speak. She says, no, failure or success? Failure. Sochi, is it okay to fail? Ready? Let's try that again. Sochi, is it okay to fail? Yes, it's okay to fail. Because every failure is a step closer to success. So what did I do? I tried again. Not the same school, but another school. Hello. Hi, my name is Nick, and I'm a speaker with no arms and legs. What? She said, how are you holding the phone? And I'm thinking, why is that important? She said, I don't believe you. She hung up the phone. Sochi, failure or a success? Failure. Sochi, is it okay to fail? Yes. Third phone call. Hello? Hello, my name is Nick Vujicic and I have no arms and legs. Can I come and speak at your school? Let me check with the headmaster. Okay. Can I call you back? She said. I said, yeah, sure. I gave her my number. I hung up the phone. I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to be a speaker. Someone's going to call me. I'm going to get my first speech. My phone rings. I'm like, hello. Hi, I spoke to the principal and the director. And we agreed that if you actually have no arms and no legs, maybe you should not come to the school because you're just going to scare everyone. And I'm like, okay, and hung up the phone. Failure or success? Failure. Sochi, is it okay to fail? Yes. So what did I do? I called 15 schools, 26 schools, 32 schools. 41 schools. 52 schools said no. And every time I got a no, 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 I got better and better and better and better and better and better and better. And my 53rd phone call went like this. Hello? Hello, my name is Nick Vujicic. I'm a motivational speaker, and I was wondering if I can come and speak to you at your school about bullying, self-esteem, dreaming big, and never giving up. And she said, okay. And I'm like, she said, okay. It's like, what do I do now? And I'm like, I don't know, right? I had no idea. So I'm like, can you pay? She said, what? It's all for free? I said, no, sorry, I have some costs. She's like, well, what's your cost? I'm like, I don't know, right? And so what we got to understand is sometimes we're so used to failing, we're not ready for the success. I went to that school, and it was a big success. And it was amazing because when I went to that school, another school heard about me. And then when I spoke at that school, another school heard about me. I've now gone to 68 countries, spoken 3,000 times to 8 million people face to face. And my largest crowd was 800,000 people in Ukraine. I hope to beat that record here in Russia one day. And I want you to know that in my life, I look at everyone with love. You know, we look at history and the ups and downs. You may know the history of former Yugoslavia and the wars all around the world, including in this region. I just want you to know that we need to pray for each other. We need to love more people, and we need to dream big. And I want you to dream big, because if a man without arms and legs is dreaming big, then so can you. I really believe that you are the generation to end world hunger. I really believe that you are the generation that could really bring more harmony into this world. But it starts with you, and it starts with me, and it starts in our own schools and our own families. I'm sorry if you don't have a nice home, but now you know what a good father should be. Now you know what a good mother should be. You need to understand that change starts with you. And if I want my children to be generous, how are they ever going to be generous until they see their mom and dad be generous? How will I expect my son and daughter to be honest unless they see what honesty is? Every week that I am home, I take my wife out on a date. I buy flowers for my wife every single time I leave home. There are things in my life that we do as a family. When I go to the dining table, if I ever take my phone to the dining table, my wife grabs my phone and puts it on the highest bookshelf where I cannot reach, because when you're with family, you're with family. Please, I want you to understand that you can make good decisions. Don't blame your history. Don't blame people. Take responsibility. Do your best and never give up. Embrace a life learning along the way and being okay to fail. Dream big and never give up. Thank you so much, Sachi. Thank you for having me today. I hope it's inspired you. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You may be seated. We now have some time. We have about 20 minutes now for maybe questions and answers, and I'm sure that they're going to have a facilitator to do so. But I just want you to know that I love you, Russia. I really do. There's unfortunately a man that represented me that signed some contracts for events on my behalf without me knowing, and he took a lot of people's money, including mine. And I found out about this forum later on, and I just want you to know I've come here because I love you. And I want to thank the administration. I want to thank the World Festival of Youth here. And I want to thank Russia for loving me and welcoming me back. I hope to actually start a Facebook. If I start a Facebook, will you follow me? And I'm going to start an official Russian page because at any events that we have in Russia, if Nick Vujicic does not do a video announcement about that event, then the event is fake. And I just want to say that to you. I love you very much, Russia. Thank you for loving me. And can I ask, who's the facilitator to do questions and answers, please? Great. So we have a question. We have a microphone on the bottom.
Yes, sure we have. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nick. Our thunderous applauses right now. Наши самые громкие аплодисменты прямо сейчас. Дамы и господа, вы знаете,
ladies and gentlemen, you know, the microphones are right here, and this young man.
I'm a medical student studying in Moscow. I have no words.
Can you actually speak? Do you speak Russian?
Yeah, I speak Russian.
Good. Can we do Russian so everyone can understand you?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Я студент.
Yes, I am a student of medical school in Moscow, and it was a dream just to meet with you, and I was depressed in the past, and you were a real inspirational voice for me. And once again, I have this dream. Is it possible to come?
And we cannot repeat the first question. Wait, you go.
Ну что ж, мы готовы двигаться далее, перейти к следующему.
So we are ready to move along. And next question, please.
Don't ask me for a hug or for a photo, okay? So we cannot repeat it. Does that make sense? And later I want to do a video that we can put on my English Facebook. Is that cool? We'll do that last, okay? Okay, next question, please.
Please take the microphone.
1 second, we'll give you a microphone.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут...
Hello, my name is Anastasia, and I am from Sakha-Yakutia Republic, and I am really happy that you are here in Russia. And we have very good young people in Russia, and a lot of people try to make the world better. And do you have a mentor in your life? A real mentor?
Yeah.
Sure. For me, I read books. Go for it. Oh, they translate. Yeah. Now, for me, I read a lot of books, and for me, I look at John Maxwell. He's a good speaker, and he's really profound in leadership. And so I look at those books, and then I also have some friends around me who are in business, and so they mentor me as well. And I'm very thankful for those people around me and just good friends around me. I do want to actually also become a mentor for more people. So we're trying to do more video programs and also maybe some series that people can get about speaking and how to become a better leader. And so I hope in the future, in the next 10 years, you'll be seeing some products from me to actually mentor as many people as possible as well to pass it on. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next question. That's right. Can you give the mic? Can you help us? Thank you.
Здравствуй, Ник.
Hello, Nick. Well, I love you. I love you, Nick. And I'm in my wheelchair and I have very serious injury. I am here. My mother is sick. She couldn't come with me, but she asked to say hello and she loves you. I was born, I weighed 900 grams. It was really hard for me. Thank you for helping me. I'm for sports. I do 1,200 bench presses an hour, and they say, "Well, Hassan, help us, inspire us." And I say, "I don't have to inspire you. Nick is there to inspire you. You can get to the net." And they say, "Hassan, you are our Nick." And my question is, can I inspire people? They ask different things. Do I have the right to give them advice? Could I be their mentor? Could I be the inspiration force? Can I show them what I can do? And can I take pictures, please?
Well, first of all, the biggest fear on earth, they say, is the fear of public speaking. And the second biggest fear is death. So when you look at the world, you've just been able to speak in front of 1,200 people, and you've conquered the world's biggest fear. And so I am sure that you can get up in front of any stage, in front of anyone, and let them know what you've learned along the way, and I know they're going to be inspired. So thank you for sharing that. Send my greetings back to your friend and come up for a hug, no problem. Okay, next question.
Я думаю, мы готовы двигаться далее. Прямо сейчас.
I believe that we can move forward. And now, the next one. Hello. I would like to welcome everyone, especially Nick Vujicic, and I'm really happy that I'm here and I hear your inspirational speech. I really liked it when you said so courageously, you told us about your faith, and it's really great to hear about your it's important, it's very good for the young people. I believe that faith in God gives us hope, and when we believe in God, we see the opportunities in life, and when we are with a God, everything becomes possible for us, and even impossible becomes possible. Thank you so much. I also would like to take a picture with you.
Photo here. Where's your camera?
Ну что ж, друзья, давайте поаплодируем погромче прямо сейчас, не теряя времени даром.
Okay, friends, give a round of applause.
Мы готовы перейти дальше. И
what you were saying is very important. What you're saying is very important. And thank you for... good. Faith is very... Thank you so much. God bless you. 1 second. That question is very, very important. And I wanted to mention to everyone that, yes, at 15 years old, I needed to know the truth. And I knew that there was something more than meets the eye. In fact, I believe in God because I've seen demons. Do you understand? Angels and demons are real. I've never seen angels, but I've seen demons. And when you have witchcraft and voodoo and the spiritual realm, it's real. And when you know that you are created for eternal purposes and you are created by a God who loves you, that's where things change. And you know it's not just your strength and your intellect, because your strength and your intellect fail you. But when we know God's love is real and that He'll never let us down, that's where things change for me. So thank you for mentioning about the importance of faith again. And you want to share? No. Yeah, what would you like? Yeah, okay. Okay.
Так, ну что же, дамы и господа, друзья.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends.
Ну что же, дамы и господа, всегда, наши самые-самые-самые громкие аплодисменты.
All the real applause. Yes, whatever is possible.
Great. Thank you.
3 fingers.
Okay, next question.
Ну что же, а мы продолжаем далее. Прямо сейчас.
And we continue, and now this young man, microphone.
Help us, please. Okay.
Добрый день, Ник.
Good morning, Nick. I'm Amor Khan. I'm from Northern Ossetia, from the Caucasus. It's part of Russia. And when I was coming here, I was coming to the festival with only one goal, to see you and meet with you. It so happened in my life that I am working with people with disabilities, and for the first time in the Northern Caucasus Federal District, we conducted our special forum for people with limited capabilities. And when I was coming here, a lot of young people who work with me, they say, no, don't come back if you don't hug Nick for us. If you allow, can I hug you really strong?
But no more hugs. We gotta do real questions. We got only 3 questions left. We have 3 questions left. Careful, careful, relax. Thank you. Bye-bye. Vitaly and Zach, you guys can come up on stage now if you want behind me and get some shots. Here we go.
Nick,
Nick, hello, I'm here. My name is Mikhail. I'm from Russia, and I have this urgent question. My charming colleague is here, and we are both doing motivational performances. We have a musical group where wheelchair bound, and we have these inspirational music programs. And there are friends around us also wheelchair bound, but sometimes we meet disabled people, and those disabled people they don't they don't really feel the way they should feel. We tell them a lot about what we do, that we're positive, and they say, forget about it, nobody needs it, all your festivals, it's all just children's playground stuff. And it's difficult to convince those people to be more positive, but we want them to have more smiles. We want their faces to be brighter. How could we do it? Give us advice, please.
Everyone put your hands in the air. Let's get some photos. Sachi, put your hands in the air. Good. Come on, you can do better than that. Say, woo! Hello from Sochi, Russia. We are here at the World Festival of Youth and Students trying to make a difference together. We stand united and wanting to see this world a better place. We love you. Hello to everyone on Facebook, and love from Sochi, Russia. Thank you. So the question was, thanks guys. The question was, give them advice. For them as the yeah. You know, never grow weary of doing good, you know, because sometimes you don't know what beautiful things come from those seeds of love. Sometimes you plant, sometimes you water the seeds, and you don't see any growth. When you're talking about the bigger things of life, especially in a country or a region of the world, where we're talking about movement, things take a long time. It takes a lot of persistence. It takes a lot of time and patience. And so keep going, and never underestimate the power of also when you change somebody else's life, the fact that they're going to be able to change someone else's as well. We are all influencers. We are all leaders, and we all can make a difference. And as we all come together and find that positivity and purpose in life, I really believe it has a really cool chain effect. So thank you for what you do, and may the people that you change also change others. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Nick. So, in this room, there is one lady. Her name is Alsu. She came from Moscow, and she has a dream.
Здравствуйте, Ник. Я
Hello, Nick. I am really happy to be here today with you. Thank you so much. I watch all your videos. I'm from Moscow. I'm a medical student, a volunteer. I help people in the hospitals, and I have my charitable projects, and you motivate me. You charge us to do something good. Thank you so much. Please say something to 5,000 volunteers that came to Sochi from 67 countries to the festival. And I have this small gift for you. We have the set of uniform, but if I could give you the T-shirt, and maybe you could wear our T-shirt and you could recall us, Russia, Sochi, we love you.
To the camera. To all the 5,000 volunteers who have made this event possible, I want you to know that without your love, without your encouragement, this would not have happened. And I just want to thank you for your dedication, thank you for your time, and thank you for your love. I really appreciate each and every volunteer. Thank you so much.
еще можно я вас обниму? Да?
May I hug you?
Ну что ж, друзья, наши самые громкие аплодисменты.
The loudest applause.
Hello, Ник.
Девушка у нас была первой.
Hello, Ник. Можно вас?
May I?
Old, 25 years old. And я музыка.
I am a musician, and I study music. I'm really, and I have this arthrosis. I look healthy, but I'm in constant pain because of my joints. Unfortunately, I cannot perform because my fingers hurt so much, and because my joints hurt so much, and it's so hard for me because I love music. And I was a healthy kid, and now it's real torture. I would like to play the guitar. I play national instruments, but now I'm in constant pain, terrible pain when I play. How could I go on living, maybe happily? And I want to have children. And last year, I had no child. I couldn't carry the child because I cannot use my hands, I cannot use my arms, and it's so painful. Thank you.
Sharing your heart. I love you so, so much. And thank God that heaven is real. I just buried my father. He's 62 years old and he died of cancer. And when you believe that Jesus died for your sin, when you believe that Jesus rose from the dead, then you also believe in heaven and hope. And so I want you to know I look forward to meeting your child in heaven. And one day you will see your child again. That's the first thing. The second thing is that I love you, and God loves you, and He's with you. Just keep on going one step at a time. There was a young man who came to me many years ago, and he was very, very tall. He was going to end up being 7 foot tall, maybe 2 meters and 30 centimeters, and very, very tall. And all he wanted to do in his life was to be a pilot, but he was too tall to be a pilot. And he said, Nick, I don't know what to do. I've grown up all my life for 18 years. I wanted to be a pilot, and I'm going to be too tall to be a pilot. And so I said, you know what? You don't know what's around the corner until you go around the corner. Maybe something is around the corner for you, I told him. I said, you know what? Go back to maybe another passion that you haven't thought of for a long time. And I said, just think about what else could you really do, because it's not the end of your story. And so he came back to me 2 years later, and he said, Nick, I have to say thank you so much. I said, why? He said, because I thought of giving up because my life was pilot. I wanted to be a pilot, just like music is your life for you. And he said, I actually picked up a guitar, and I started playing my guitar, and now I've got my own band, and now I know that a fighter pilot is not what I'm meant to be, but I'm actually a musician. For you, maybe I'm not asking you to be a fighter pilot, but what I want you to know is not being the musician is not everything. Again, remember what I said on this speech, that it's not about what job you have. And the fact that you can actually teach other people to do music. I actually teach my sons how to read music and how to play piano, and I don't even have any fingers. And I want you to know that when you know something that you can share with others, sometimes it's a beautiful thing that you can even help someone find their own passion in music, one that maybe you cannot even fulfill in your own physical body. But I want you to know that all things come together for the good. Take one day at a time, pray to God, ask God for help, and He will help you every step of the way. And I have a question for you. Can I have a hug from you, and can I have a selfie with you? Did you guys enjoy the time for questions and answers? Good. Oh, give me a big hug. Love you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You have a camera? Camera? Yes? Ready? Good. May God bless you. Thank you. Thank you.
The last
Unfortunately, we have no more time
Please, the
here.
last
But I
question.
do want to say that I love you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Sochi, thank you very much. Have a great day.